Hi, my gems. Okay, next part of Alice in Wonderland. Alice waited to check that she wasn't still shrinking, for that might end in me going out altogether like the flame of a candle, and then skipped to the door. But oh, she had left the key on the glass table and was now much too small to reach it. Alice began to cry. After a minute, Alice shook herself hard and pulled herself together. What was left of her, for she was extremely small. She noticed a little glass box beneath the table. It contained a very small cake with the words "Eat Me" written on the top. Well, here goes nothing, thought Alice, and nibbled on the cake. She held her hand to her head to see if she was growing again, and was surprised that nothing happened. Of course, that is usually the case when you eat cake, but Alice's day had been much too peculiar so far. She was beginning to expect the unexpected. Soon Alice had polished off the whole cake. Oh, she cried as she began to feel a particular feeling. Oh, this is curiouser and curiouser. Her grasp of good English had gone with the shock of it all. Alice was growing again at an alarming rate. "Goodbye, feet," she called down to her shoes so far below. "It's been nice knowing you." As her head banged on the ceiling, Alice grabbed at the key on the table and made her way back to the door. But now she was so tall, not only was she unable to fit through, she also had to lie down to even see into the garden. She began to cry again and cried so many tears she made a pool around her. That's a lot of tears. The sound of footsteps made Alice stop and dry her eyes. It was the White Rabbit once again, dressed in his finest clothes and carrying a large fan and a pair of gloves. "The Duchess will be so angry," he fussed. Then he gave a start when he saw Alice. He dropped his things and ran in the opposite direction. Alice picked up the fan and wafted around her as she pondered. Things are so strange today. Had something happened to her overnight? Was she actually even Alice any longer? Well, I can't be Lucy. She has dark hair. I can't be Emily. She's not very clever at all. Oh, who am I? Alice waved the fan as she tried to think clearly. "Let me see how much I know," she mused. 4 times 6 is 13, and London is the capital of Paris. Oh, that's not right, she wailed, and then looked down at her lap. The gloves seemed the right size, and she thought she had shrunk by fanning herself. She dropped the fan hesitantly, just in time to prevent herself from disappearing altogether. That was lucky, but other things were not. The key was still on the table, and she was once again too small to reach it. Do you hear Chick-fil-A saying hello? I know, she's being noisy. She's barking at nothing again. Okay. Alice was about to burst into tears once more, but as she stepped back in dismay, her foot slipped. Splash! Somehow she was up to her chin in salty water. She thought she'd fallen in a sea, but then she made out she was in a pool of her own tears, cried when she was tall enough to fill the room. As she swam and wondered what would happen next, a creature splashed past close by. Was it a walrus? A hippo? No. She was now so small it was only a mouse doing the crawl to reach the edge of the pool. Alice swam alongside and wondered if the mouse could talk. The mouse could indeed speak, and they chatted as they swam together. "I do wish I hadn't cried so much," said Alice, as swimming was becoming very tiring. Alice and the mouse swam past other creatures that had fallen into the pool. Among them were a duck and a dodo, an owl and a parrot, And then finally they reached the shore. They clambered onto the bank and sat there for a while, their fur and feathers and Alice's clothes all dripping, and wondered how they might get dry before they caught cold. The best thing to get us warm and dry would be to hold a caucus race. What is a caucus race? Well, we'll find out what a caucus race is the next chapter. I know, time's up.